Hello everyone, and welcome all of you to Unacademy, a place where you can crack your toughest of examinations with the help of top educators, quality content, and not to forget the great learning experience. Therefore, join us in cracking your 9th and 10th examination on Unacademy, where you have the unlimited access to live and recorded courses from India's best educators. Well, before I continue with Unacademy, let me introduce myself. I am Tasneem Ahmed and I have completed my Master's and MPhil in English. I have also been certified in TESOL and I have trained 1,000 plus students. I have 8 years of professional teaching experience as well, therefore be rest assured you are in good hands. Today's topic is about conjunctions. In this video, I am going to be taking you through the different types of conjunctions which can be divided or classified into the structure and the way they function in a statement. Stay tuned for conjunctions. Before I proceed with conjunctions, let me take you back to Unacademy and let you know what all you can expect with Unacademy. Well, for starters, you have daily life classes where you can chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts, and answer polls, all while the class is going on. Number 2, you have live tests and quizzes where you can evaluate your preparation with our regular mock tests and quizzes and get detailed analysis on your performance. Number 3, you have structured courses. All our courses are structured in line with exam syllabus to help you best prepare for it. Number 4, and the most important one of all, is the unlimited access to all our live and recorded videos. That is, one subscription gets you the access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices anytime you want. All you have to do is buy the subscription and get the access to your free live classes and prepare with top educators and get the comprehensive syllabus of mathematics, social science, Hindi, science, and of course English as well. You can also talk to us on Unacademy. That is on Telegram application. All you have to do is download the Telegram application, type the link in the URL, and then click on join. The next step is to download the Unacademy learning application on any one of your compatible devices. The last step is to go ahead and buy any one of these subscriptions that are available with Unacademy. Well, Unacademy offers you many number of subscriptions according to your needs and according to your requirement. Number 1, we have a 6 months course which is available on a 33% of discounted rate. Number 2, you have a 12 months subscription which is available on 50% of discounted rate. Number 3, you have 24 months. Number 4, you have 36 months, and then you have 48 months, which is available on a maximum amount of discount already. Well, that is not it. As you go higher, the discount on these subscriptions go higher as well. Well, that's not it. Along with the existing discount, you have additional 10% of discount with the code TA01. That is, when you proceed to pay, you will have to type the code TA01. For example, if you were to buy the course of 12 months, which is already available on a discounted rate of 50%. With the code TA01, you get additional 10% of discount on the available 10%, which means that in total you get 60% of discount. That is, as opposed to 15,000 rupees for the subscription of 12 months, you will now be paying only 13,500 rupees with the code TA01. And for a month, you will only be paying 1,125 rupees only. So what are you waiting for? If you are in 9th grade or 10th or 11th or in 12th grade, go ahead, take the advantage of the code which is given and go for the maximum amount of, that is the subscription for 12 months, and buy the subscription and start preparing for your exams today. All right? Okay, now let us move on to the topic of the day, which is conjunctions. And what is a conjunction? Now, you gotta explain me the meaning of the word conjunction. What is a conjunction? Let me tell you what a conjunction is. A word that joins two words or two phrases or two clauses is called as a conjunction. Well, when you have two words, when you have two phrases, or when you have two clauses, you have to bring them together, you will have to combine them, or you will have to link them and make it as a meaningful statement. In that particular situation, you use words such as and, or, but, since, if, yet, so, because, etc., etc., etc. All these words are used to connect two clauses, two words, or two phrases. These words are called as conjunctions. I have given you the examples for better understanding. Let us go through them. Number one, she must eat or she will die. Now over here you have one, which is clause number one. She must eat, which is your clause number one. Then you have another clause, which is she will die, which is your clause number two. Therefore, these two clauses are supposed to be combined. And we have introduced the word or over here, which is functioning as a linking word, thereby functioning like a conjunction. So there you have your conjunction number one. Next is Emma and Sarah are friends. Emma and Sarah, number one, number two, and we got to combine them, and we have used the word and over there to combine. Therefore, and is your conjunction. He will call if he is going to be late. He will call, one clause. He is going to be late, clause number two. And if is the word that is combining these two clauses, therefore making that as our conjunction. Breaking and entering is illegal, and is our conjunction over here, which is combining the words and entering. So these are our conjunctions. Conjunctions are the words which in fact connect or link two, or in fact join two phrases or two words or two clauses. Now let us proceed towards understanding the types of conjunctions. Conjunctions can be divided or classified under two segregations. Number one, they can be divided based on their structure or how they look. Number one, single. Number two, pairs. And number three, they are also called as compound. These are based on the structure or how they look. And these are coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. These conjunctions are segregated based on the way they function in the statement. I'm going to take you through all these conjunctions individually one by one. Let us go through these conjunctions, which are single, pairs, and compound based on the structure. All right. Number one, like I told you, single word conjunctions. Now, the word is pretty much self-explanatory. I don't think there is much for me to say or explain over here when it comes to single word. Single words are nothing but, or, and, so, since, yet, so, if, etc., etc., etc. I couldn't put all the conjunctions over here, but these conjunctions are enough for you to understand. These conjunctions are single worded conjunctions. You can see they are single worded. Examples of these words: she arrived but late. She must eat or she will die. Emma and Sarah are friends. She will call if he will call if he is going to be late. Now these words are single worded conjunctions because they are single words. Now let us move on to the next one, which I said conjunctions in pairs, which are like either or, neither nor, not only but not only, but also, and there are many more which we will be learning in a while. Well, let me give you a little more information about these conjunctions. They are also called as correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions, which we will be learning in a while. Now, why are they called as pairs? Because they are used in pairs. They are not used individually or separately. Of course, you can use or individually, and you can also use but then when you are using them like this, they are used in pairs in a same statement to combine clauses like this. Either the lions or the bears have escaped the zoo. Either the lions or. Now you can see that we have used either or, and these are our conjunctions. And what type of conjunctions are they? They are pairs, or you can also call them as correlative conjunctions. All right. Next one is neither the lions nor the bears have escaped the zoo. Neither nor, the same type with a negative meaning, but then used in pairs. Again, they're called as pairs or correlative. Next one is not only Amy, but also Emma left the job. Also, but also, not only, but also. So these conjunctions are used only in pairs when you use them in a statement to combine two words or two phrases or two clauses. All right, they are called as either pairs or correlative conjunctions. That's number 2. Now, number 3 is compound conjunctions, which are a combination of 2 or 3 conjunctions put together and used as one word or conveying one thought, like in order that. These are not 3 separate conjunctions, but then one conjunction. Similarly, as well as, provided that, cannot, but, not to mention, but for, etc., etc., etc. Even when it comes to compound, we have many conjunctions available out there. I couldn't put all of them over here, but then these conjunctions will suffice for your understanding. Let me give you the examples. But for Emma's efforts, he wouldn't have succeeded. But for Emma's efforts, he wouldn't have succeeded, meaning if Emma had not put in effort, he wouldn't have succeeded. So to say that, we have brought in 2 conjunctions, which 2 conjunctions are put together. One is but and for, and these 2 have been combined together, and now they give altogether a different meaning. But for Emma's efforts, he wouldn't have succeeded. If Emma had not tried, then he wouldn't have succeeded. That's the meaning of this conjunction, but for. Next one is I cannot but. This is of course, this is your model, and it is combined with the conjunction but. But together we use this as one conjunction. Cannot but. I cannot but agree with his conditions, meaning I have no other option but to agree with the conditions that were laid. So to say that, we use the conjunction cannot but. I cannot but agree with his conditions because I had no other option. Therefore, I had to go ahead and agree to the conditions that were laid. Cannot but. The next one is the lions as well as the bears have escaped the zoo. So here as well as are 3 different words put together but then used as one conjunction. So as well as in additionally. I will be on the time provided that, as in on condition that the train is not late. I'll definitely be on time. My intention is to be on time, but there should not be any other problem. The train should not be late. Provided that the train is not late, I will definitely be on time. So provided that is also a combination of 2 different provided and that. You can see that there are 2 words, but then we are using that as one conjunction. So when you have these conjunctions like these are called as compound conjunctions. All right. These are called as compound conjunctions. In order that, as well as, provided that, cannot but, not to mention, but for. Now let us proceed towards learning the other types of conjunctions, which are coordinating conjunctions. Number one, I also told you that you have subordinating conjunctions and also correlative conjunctions. I'm going to take you through them, but I first want you to focus on coordinating conjunctions. Well, what are coordinating conjunctions? Well, coordinating conjunctions are nothing but these conjunctions, as in for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Well, there is an acronym as well which goes, and it's pretty easy for you to remember. What are coordinating conjunctions? Coordinating conjunctions are nothing but fanboys. Pretty easy for you to remember. What is it? Fanboys, where F stands for, A stands for and, nor stands for, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. All these are called as your coordinating conjunctions. Now, what do they do, or how do they function in a statement is the question to be asked. And coordinating conjunctions are those which combine two clauses or words or phrases of equal syntactic importance or value, which means that they combine two independent clauses. The main purpose of the coordinating conjunctions in a statement is to combine two equal or independent clauses in a statement, or independent or two equal words, or two words of equal importance. That is called as coordinating. That's the function of coordinating conjunctions in a statement. I will give you the examples in a little while, but before, let us know what are subordinating conjunctions. Well, subordinating conjunctions are words like as, after, when, which, while, before, because, if, since, though, that, therefore, however, and although. Well, this also has an acronym for you to make it easy for you to remember, which is AUBISTA. It might sound a little funny, but then trust me, fanboys, AUBISTA. What are fanboys? Fanboys are coordinating conjunctions. Fanboys are coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions, and AUBISTA, all these are subordinating conjunctions. That's what you have to remember. It's pretty easy once you remember this acronym, these two acronyms. It's going to be easy for you to remember the coordinating conjunctions and also subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions are AUBISTA, where A stands for as, A stands for after, W for when, which, and while, B for before and because, I for if, S for since, T for though, that, and therefore, H for however, and A for although. There are other conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions as well, but then I have only listed these many for you to remember the acronym AUBISTA. Fanboys, coordinating, and AUBISTA is for subordinating. Now, the next question is, how do they function in a statement? What function do they perform in a statement? Or when they combine two clauses, what type of clauses do they combine? Well, fanboys, I told you they combine two independent clauses, right? Two independent clauses. Well, subordinating conjunctions are those which introduce the dependent clause. Well, this is an important factor. When it comes to fanboys, that doesn't happen. But then when it comes to subordinating conjunctions, the clause itself begins with these conjunctions, which is point number one. Subordinating conjunctions are those which introduce the dependent clause. Keep this in your mind, dependent clause. I will tell you in a while what a dependent clause is. So, subordinating conjunctions are those which introduce the dependent clause, number one. Number two, they combine. They combine. They combine two clauses where one is an independent clause and the other is a dependent clause. One is independent and the other is, one is independent clause and the other is dependent clause. I will explain you this with an example. Just hold on for a while. And the third point is a dependent clause is called as a subordinating clause as well. You can refer to that as dependent clause or a subordinating clause. That is up to you. Both mean one and the same. So what did I tell you? Coordinating conjunctions are conjunctions like fanboys, where for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. And these conjunctions combine two independent clauses. Remember this point? They combine two independent clauses. What are subordinating conjunctions? Subordinating conjunctions are conjunctions like as, after, when, which, while, before, because, if, since, though, that, therefore, however, although. And the acronym for these subordinating conjunctions is AUBISTA, and these conjunctions combine one independent clause and another dependent clause. Now let us learn what is an independent clause and what is a dependent clause. Now, for example, if I were to write an example which is, let us say, Alice cleaned the dishes. Let us put a full stop over here. Alice cleaned the dishes. And Ben, let us write another statement. Ben dusted the house. Now, over here, let me first ask you the question. Does it convey the statement, which is Alice cleaned the dishes? Does it convey a complete thought? Would you call this as a complete statement? And the answer is yes, of course. What is a statement? What is a sentence? A sentence which has a subject and a verb, and when it conveys a complete thought, you call that as a complete statement. And over here, Alice is your subject and cleaned is your verb, and it certainly qualifies as a complete statement. Alice cleaned the dishes because it is conveying a complete thought. Therefore, it is your complete statement. Similarly, Ben dusted the house. So Ben is your subject and dusted is your verb, and there you have your object, and this also qualifies as your complete statement. Now these two statements are supposed to be combined together. So what are we going to do, or which conjunction are we going to use as a question? Let us bring in coordinating conjunction. Remember, what did I say? Coordinating conjunctions, what do they do? How do they function? They actually combine two independent clauses, right? So here we have two clauses. Let us combine these two conjunctions. Like Alice cleaned the dishes and Ben dusted the house. And Ben dusted the house. Now over here, we have introduced the conjunction and we have combined these two statements. Now here, the one which was an independent statement has now converted itself into a clause, because it can only be called as a statement when it ends with a full stop, right? Here it definitely does end with a full stop, therefore it is our complete statement, it is our complete thought. But over here we brought in the conjunction and hence it's not a complete thought. Well, it is a complete thought, but it doesn't end with a full stop, but then there is a continuation and there is additional information as well, which has been brought in or combined by the conjunction and. Hence, Alice cleaned the dishes is your clause here now, and Ben dusted the house is your clause number 2. Now over here, these two clauses are independent clauses. These two clauses are your independent clauses because we have combined these two clauses with the conjunction and. Remember, coordinating conjunctions, when two clauses are combined by the fanboys, or what do they stand for? F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y for yet, and S for so. So these are your coordinating conjunctions. So when you combine two clauses or two sentences with any one of these conjunctions, then both your clauses are independent. Both your clauses are independent. Therefore, here Alice cleaned the dishes and Ben dusted the house are your independent clauses. Both are your independent clauses. Alice cleaned the dishes is also your independent clause. Ben dusted the house is also your independent clause. Because another factor that you have to focus over here is this statement dependent upon anything? Now, if you take this statement, Alice cleaned the dishes, does it actually ask for more information? Does it require, is it begging for more information to give you the complete meaning? Does it require, is it asking? The answer is of course not. It is not in fact asking for any extra information. The moment you read Alice cleaned the dishes, it is conveying a complete thought. It is able to stand on its own. It is perfectly capable of standing on its own, and it isn't asking for any extra information. And the another statement, which is Ben dusted the house. Here again, the same question, which is this statement asking for any extra information? When you take a look at it, Ben dusted the house. Is it asking for anything extra, any extra information to make it as a complete statement? Of course not. Even this can also stand on its own without any support of any other word. Therefore, we have brought together two independent clauses, and we have combined these two clauses with the conjunction and. Therefore, we call these conjunctions as independent clauses. And they are also independent sentences when you put a full stop. But then here, these two independent clauses become independent sentences become clauses when you introduce the conjunction, any one of the coordinating conjunction. Now let us move on to the dependent clause. To understand this, let me give you an example, which is he left early. Let me put it, end it with a full stop. Here, he had to reach on time. Let me end this also with a full stop. Now again here, he left early. One statement, one independent statement, or you can also call it as a clause. Number two, he had to reach on time. Again, another independent sentence, right? Now we got to combine these two. How are we going to combine, and which conjunction are we going to bring in? I want you to bring in any one of your au pista conjunction, which is the subordinating conjunction. I hope you remember the acronym au pista. Au pista. Au pista, any one of these conjunctions. So combine, what are you going to use? Which conjunction are you going to introduce over here? Let me do that for you. He left early because he had to reach on time. Now, there are many factors that you have to take into consideration when you are deciding which one is an independent clause and which one is a dependent clause, unlike coordinating conjunctions. Well, when you are combining two statements with au vista or any one of these conjunctions, the first condition is for you to begin that clause along with the conjunction. When it is with coordinating conjunctions, you don't really include this conjunction because you are using the coordinating conjunctions, which is fan, boys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. You are using these conjunctions there. That is why you do not take that into consideration, because the function of these conjunctions is to separate, is to make them independent. But then the subordinating conjunction is not going to separate them, but then it brings them together and it is dependent upon the other. You begin the clause over here. Let me take he left early, which is over here. He left early. This is our independent clause. It's not dependent upon the other clause. But when you begin the next clause, which is from here to here, because he had to reach on time, you cannot eliminate the subordinating conjunction. You cannot eliminate it, but instead you will have to take that into consideration when you are actually beginning the clause. Because he had to reach on time, he left early. So over here, because is your conjunction, and because you have included this in your clause, this becomes your dependent clause. Dependent clause. Now there is another explanation for that. Now he left early. Let's consider only that alone. Let us take that clause alone. He left early. Does it ask for any extra information? Does it really demand any explanation? Does it is it really asking for extra information to make itself a complete thought? The answer is, of course, not. It is not asking for any extra information. He left early conveys a complete thought, or it's a complete statement. Hence, it is capable of standing on its own. Hence, it is independent or independent clause. But like I told you, you begin the subordinating conjunctions are included with the clause, and you begin it with the clause, with the conjunction, that is with because he had to reach on time. Now when you consider that alone, because he had to reach on time, now does that tell you that it is a complete thought, or is it capable of standing on its own? Is it not demanding for the completion of the meaning over there? Because he had to reach on time, all right, there is still continuation. There is an expectation from our side, or whoever that is listening to. They are like, okay, because he had to reach on time, what did he do? What was the other phrase? What is the continuation? What is the ending? What is the afterthought? So these questions arise, which makes it as not being capable of standing on its own, not being independent. So in that particular situation, what happens? It becomes your dependent clause. And to make itself complete, this particular clause, which is because he had to reach on time, is dependent upon this clause, which is he left early. Only when you combine it with another clause does it become a complete meaningful statement. That is why we call this as a dependent clause. So these are our independent and dependent clauses. Independent clauses are those which are capable of standing on their own without any help whatsoever from the other clause. Whereas dependent clauses are those which are not capable of standing on their own, but then they require other clauses or other phrases to make them as a complete statement. That's the explanation of dependent and independent clauses. Independent clauses are combined by fanboys, which are coordinating conjunctions, and dependent clauses are combined by aubista, which are subordinating conjunctions. All right? Now let us move on further and analyze what are coordinating conjunctions. I told you a little while ago, coordinating conjunctions are nothing but fan boys, right? Fan boys, where F stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. These are our coordinating conjunctions. A little while ago, when I was discussing about independent clauses, I told you that these conjunctions combine only independent clauses. Well, this is easier way for you to remember this is remember the acronym. The first thing, remember the acronym. And when you come across this, any one of these conjunctions in your statement, without doubt, you can tell that the clauses are independent. Let me give you a couple of examples. Number one, as I told you earlier, she has to work hard or she will fail. Now the conjunction over here is or. She has to work hard or she will fail. Now over here, she has to work hard is our independent clause, and then she will fail is also independent clause, because when you take this alone, she has to work hard, is perfectly capable of standing on its own. Similarly, she will fail is also perfectly capable of standing on its own. And another thing, we have combined this with the conjunction or, which is a coordinating conjunction, and hence both our clauses are independent clauses. So that tells us that coordinating conjunctions combine two independent clauses. Let me give you another example, which is she is smart but lazy. Now here we have combined, this is clause number 1, and here you can see that there is just one word, which is lazy. Now this here, I did not introduce the subject over here, but then you are supposed to understand she is smart and lazy is relevant to the same subject that we are talking, that is she. So it is pretty much understood that we are talking about the same subject, and the same verb also is applicable over here. So that's the reason we have omitted she is lazy. We have not completely written she is lazy, but then we have just written lazy because there's no point repeating the same subject, same verb even in clause number 2 when you are actually combining with the coordinating conjunction, because it is pretty much understood. All right, so therefore she is smart but lazy, which means that she is smart, one clause, she is lazy is another clause which has been combined by the conjunction but. So here she is smart is your independent clause, and she is lazy is also your independent clause. So that is how we combine these clauses and we call them as coordinating conjunctions. Let me give you another example, which is he is rich, yet he is a miser. He is a miser. Here, yet is your conjunction, which is your coordinating conjunction, of course. He is rich, yet he is a miser. Of course, he is rich is your clause number 1, and he is miser is your clause number 2, and both are your independent clauses. And we have combined these two independent clauses with the conjunction yet, and therefore these are our coordinating conjunctions. So what are coordinating conjunctions? Coordinating conjunctions are nothing but fanboys. What are fanboys? Fanboys are nothing but the acronym for coordinating conjunctions, where F stands for, and A stands for and nor, but, or, yet, so. These are coordinating conjunctions. And what is the function of coordinating conjunction? Coordinating conjunctions combine two independent clauses. Remember this. Now let us move on to the subordinating conjunctions, and let us learn about what are the subordinating conjunctions. Well, I told you a little while ago, subordinating conjunctions also have an acronym, which is AUBIST. Well, this is going to help you remember it very well. That's it, where A stands for as, and then after, and where, or while, or when, or before, because, and if, let us say, since, that, or also though, or therefore, and then you also have although, where you have this acronym. There are other subordinating conjunctions as well, but I couldn't put all of them in this acronym. For you, this is enough for you to understand AUBIST. I know the pronunciation is a bit funny, but just ignore as long as it is helping you remember. AUBIST is the acronym. Once you learn that, you will be able to put together all your conjunctions in list, and it will be easier for you to recognize your dependent clauses. Now, what is the function of subordinating conjunctions? Well, I told you a little while ago that subordinating conjunctions combine one independent clause and another dependent clause. Let me give you the example of this thing. That is, she wasn't allowed inside because she had no identification card. Well, I already gave you the example of because a little while ago when I was explaining you about the dependent clauses, right? So it's pretty much easy for you to recognize the word because, so I'm not going to brood over this thing. She wasn't allowed inside is your clause number 1 and your independent clause. Remember, what did I tell you when we were talking about subordinating conjunctions? You got to begin your clause with the conjunction. Begin the clause with the conjunction, so therefore you begin it with because she had no identification card, therefore this becomes our dependent clause. Let me give you another example. She left early although she had enough of time. Now take a look at this. She left early although she had enough of time. So she left early is our independent clause and the conjunction although is our subordinating conjunction. And what did I tell you? Begin the clause with the conjunction. Therefore, although she had enough of time, she left early, or she left early although she had enough of time. So here she left early becomes our independent clause, whereas although she had enough of time becomes our dependent clause. So the dependent clause begins with these clauses: as, after, where, while, when, before, because, if, since, that, though, therefore, although. It begins with the subordinating conjunction. So it shouldn't be difficult for you to differentiate between or to identify a coordinating a dependent clause in a statement. You can easily recognize these conjunctions in your statements, if you have to. Now let us move on to the next one, which is correlative conjunction. Correlative conjunctions are those like either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also, and there are many more. Examples are either the lions or the bears have escaped the zoo. Now over here, these conjunctions are more like coordinate. They coordinate or they combine two independent clauses or words. Either the lions or the bears have escaped the zoo. Similarly, neither the lions nor the bears have escaped the zoo. Not only Amy, but also Emma left the job. No sooner had I entered inside than the phone bell rang. Now here, no sooner and than is your correlative conjunctions. Remember when we were discussing about the structure of conjunctions, we came across these conjunctions, correlative and pair, which are also called as pairs, right? That's correct. Let me give you a few more examples. She has to attend the party whether she likes it or not. Now, what are the conjunctions over here in this particular statement? Of course, correlative conjunctions, two conjunctions. Those are whether and or. Now here, these two are our conjunctions. She has to attend the party whether she likes it or not. Let me give you another example. I would rather stay home than go out in this rain. So here, what are your correlative conjunctions? These are rather and than. I would rather stay home than go out in the rain. So these are your correlative conjunctions. Other conjunctions are like hardly and when, and then you also have like such, that, etc, etc, etc. So when conjunctions are used in same statement like this, in this particular manner, then you call them as correlative conjunctions. Keep that in your mind. Well, subordinating conjunctions can be further divided or further classified according to their meaning in the statement, which is like this. First one being the time. They are segregated on the basis of time. Number one being before, till, until, since, and after. Let me give you the examples based on these. She left before I could tell her. She left before I could tell her. Now, if you analyze the statement, it tells about the time. When did she leave? She left before I could tell her, obviously answering the question, when. So here, the word before is your conjunction, and this is your dependent clause as well, because it begins with the conjunction. Therefore, before I could tell her, she left before I could tell her. The next one is she left after I met her. Now here, the word after is your conjunction. She left after I met her. So after again is speaking about time. When did she leave? After I met her. Therefore, these conjunctions like before and after qualify as time. Next one is things have. All right, one second. Things have taken a drastic turn since he has come back. Since when have things taken a drastic turn? Since he has come back. And the word which is denoting the time over here is since. Therefore, this word qualifies as your conjunction of time, and also your subordinating conjunction in this is your subordinating clause, or you can also call that as a dependent clause. Number one is this. And the next one that we have is the cause and or the reason, the cause or which tells you the reason behind, as in because, as, and since. Let me give you the examples. She left early, and the answer is why. Why did she leave early? She left early because it was raining. Or the reason could be anything. Well, I'm just giving you an example over here. She left because it was raining. Why did she leave early? What is the reason behind? Well, the reason was it was raining. Because it was raining. Therefore, the word because tells you the reason. Hence, it is called as the conjunction of cause or reason. And this is our dependent clause. Instead of because, you can also use the word as. She left early as it was raining, and you can also say since it was raining. So all these three conjunctions qualify as the conjunctions of cause and reason. She left early because it was raining. She left early as it was raining. She left early since it was raining. So these are your conjunctions which explain about the cause or the reason. Now let us move on to the next one, which speaks about the purpose, as in order that or so that. Let me give you a clarity on this based on the example. She left early in order that, meaning what was the purpose behind? In order that she could attend the party. She left early in order that. What was the purpose behind? The purpose was to attend the party. That is the reason she left early. And the word denoting the purpose over here is in order that she left early in order that she could attend the party. You can also write it in a different way, like this. She left early so that she won't miss the party. She left early so that she won't miss the party. What was the purpose behind leaving early over here? The purpose was not to miss the party, and the other purpose was to attend the party. The words that convey that purpose is in order that and so that, and that is why we call these conjunctions as conjunctions of purpose. The next one is the manner, which the conjunctions are as if, as though. For examples would be, she behaved as if she was a princess. How did she behave? What was the manner of her behavior? It was as if she was a princess. She behaved as if she was a princess. Or you can also write as though over here, which also speaks about the manner. You can also say she behaved as though she was a princess. So these conjunctions convey the manner or tell us how something is done. The next one is the conditions. The words which express conditions are if, unless, provided that. Let me give you the examples. If she wants to win, the competition, then she must work hard. Now here, if you analyze the whole statement, the conjunction over here is if, and if she wants to win the competition, then she must work hard. So here there is a condition behind. If she wants to win the competition, then she must work hard. So unless this condition is fulfilled, the other action is not going to happen. The other example with the word unless is, unless you leave early, you won't reach on time. So here the condition is, unless you leave early, you won't reach on time. You want to reach on time, then fulfill the other condition, that is leave early. Unless you leave early, you won't reach on time. So that's another statement. Let me give you another example, which is with this. Okay, one second. Yeah. He will pass the test. He will pass the test, and the condition is provided that he should work hard. He will pass the test provided that, meaning condition. If this condition is fulfilled, then the other one will automatically happen. He will pass the test provided that he should work hard. If he will fulfill this condition, the other action will automatically happen. So these words like if, unless, and provided that convey or denote the conditions, and that is why they are called as conjunctions of conditions. The next one is referring to the place. Examples are, she hid the box where no one could find. So where, obviously the moment we say place, the question that we have to ask is where. So the conjunction we have used over here is where. She hid the box where no one could find. So this is referring to the place, and therefore this being our dependent clause, this qualifies as our conjunction of place. Now, for the example of wherever, she followed her father wherever, or you can also write everywhere, he went. She followed her father wherever or everywhere he went. Now here, these words, wherever is specifying the place, and even the word everywhere is also specifying the place. Therefore, this qualifies as our conjunction of place. Where, wherever, and everywhere. Now the next one is the conjunction of concession. Concession. These conjunctions are although, though, even though, even if. Let me give you the examples. Although it was raining, he went out. As in, even though it was raining. You can also use even though in the same place. Even though. Although it was raining, he went out, as in the concession, as in like it did not bother or it did not matter. The other example is, even if she comes, I don't think she can stay for long. And the concession over here is, the conjunction here is even if, which shows the concession and says, even if she comes, I don't think she can stay for long. So even if she comes is your dependent clause over here. I don't think she can stay for long. The other example would be, people look happy even though there isn't much to eat. So there you have. So these conjunctions, although, though, even though, even if, all these conjunctions convey the concession. And these are the different types of conjunctions that we have learned. What did I tell you? Remember the acronyms. Acronyms are fanboys and albista. And albista. Beast. Remember these acronyms, and this is our these are our subordinating conjunctions, and these are our coordinating conjunctions, and we have independent and dependent clauses. Fanboys or coordinating conjunctions combine two independent clauses, and subordinating conjunctions combine one independent clause with the other dependent clause. Dependent clauses begin with all these conjunctions, or the conjunctions that begin with these albista, as in as, after, where, while, when, but, before, because, if, since, that, though, however, although. These are subordinating conjunctions, and these are our conjunctions, albista and fanboys. We also have another set of conjunctions which are called as correlative, like either, or, neither, nor, not only, but also, rather than, so that. All those are our correlative conjunctions. Well, that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Do leave your comments below and let me know whether this was helpful or not. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon if you haven't already, and the most important thing of all, remember to type that code TA01 to avail that 10% of extra discount on the available discount on your subscription when you proceed to pay. And join our Telegram group for latest updates on our upcoming videos. Well, until then, thank you very much for watching. Have a good time. Bye-bye.